Welcome back to Deadly Details, the channel where we dig into the stories that most people are too afraid to ask about. Today, we're taking on one of the sky's most controversial mysteries. You've seen them, those long white trails that stretch across the sky. At first glance, they seem harmless, just planes passing overhead, right? But for millions of people around the world, those streaks are evidence of something far more chilling, something deliberate. A secret being carried out right above our heads. They're called chemtrails. And the theory is this: those planes aren't just leaving behind condensation, they're spraying chemicals. For weather control, for population manipulation, for reasons we're not meant to understand. Sounds wild? Maybe. But here at Deadly Details, we don't look away just because something sounds unbelievable. We look deeper. What are these planes spraying? Who's behind it? And what does it mean for the rest of us? Strap in, because this is one mystery that's quite literally in the air. This is chemtrail planes. What are they spraying and why? Let's start with the basics. What's the difference between a contrail and a so-called chemtrail? Contrails, short for condensation trails, form when hot jet exhaust hits cold air. The result: water vapor condenses and freezes, leaving behind a visible streak of ice crystals. These can dissipate quickly or linger depending on altitude, humidity, and temperature. Chemtrail believers, however, argue that these persistent trails are not just water vapor. They claim these trails contain a cocktail of chemicals deliberately released by high-flying aircraft. Theories range from geoengineering to population control. Some suggest it's a top-secret program run by governments, corporations, or shadowy elites. Others point to global weather modification schemes. But the question remains: is there any truth to it? The chemtrail theory didn't just fall out of the sky. Its modern roots trace back to the mid-1990s, when people began to notice longer-lasting trails behind jets. These trails didn't fade. They spread, blanketed the sky, and hung around for hours. People started asking questions. In 1996, a report from the U.S. Air Force titled "Weather as a Force Multiplier." Owning the weather in 2025 didn't help ease suspicions. The document explored how weather could be used in military operations, including cloud seeding and weather modification. Though purely theoretical, it was enough to ignite the imagination. Soon after, online forums exploded with photos, eyewitness accounts, and amateur investigations. The term chemtrails caught on. Conspiracy legends like William Thomas and later Dane Wigington helped push the idea into the public consciousness. Was this the beginning of a real whistleblower movement? Or just the internet doing what the internet does best, blending paranoia with pseudoscience? Okay, let's talk specifics. What chemicals are allegedly being sprayed, and what for? According to chemtrail believers, common suspects include aluminum, barium, strontium, sulfur dioxide, polymer fibers, and biological agents. Some believe these are used for geoengineering, to reflect sunlight and combat climate change. Others think they're designed for mind control, population suppression, or testing dangerous biological agents. In one controversial case, lab tests on rainwater samples allegedly showed high levels of aluminum and barium, far above normal levels. These reports were quickly challenged by scientists who pointed out flaws in sampling methods, contamination, and lack of peer review. Still, the idea persists. Something unnatural is being sprayed into our atmosphere, and the trail it leaves is more than just ice crystals. So, how have governments responded to these allegations? In short, denial. The U.S. Air Force, the EPA, NASA, and NOAA have all dismissed chemtrail claims as a hoax. A 2016 study published in Environmental Research Letters surveyed 77 atmospheric scientists and geochemists. 76 out of 77 found no evidence of a covert geoengineering program. One said he had found unusual aluminum levels, but later admitted the data was likely contaminated. Government agencies maintain that all visible trails are simply contrails, and that the atmosphere is behaving as it should. But for conspiracy believers, that response isn't reassuring. In fact, it's suspicious. After all, if this were a top-secret program, would they really admit it? Let's play devil's advocate. If chemtrails were real, who benefits? Theory 1. Climate control. Some suggest chemtrails are a desperate attempt to cool a warming planet. Spraying reflective particles like aluminum could theoretically reduce solar radiation. But this idea is controversial even among scientists. It could trigger droughts, alter ecosystems, and spark geopolitical conflict. Theory 2. Corporate greed. If weather can be manipulated, so can profits. Drought one year, rain the next. Imagine betting on crop futures when you can control the forecast. Theory 3. Military supremacy. Owning the weather means owning the battlefield. Clear skies for your drones, rainstorms over enemy camps, tornadoes as tactical weapons. Far-fetched. But in a world where drones strike from thousands of miles away, anything is possible. Theory 4. Population control or mind control. This is where things veer into sci-fi territory. Alleged aerosolized pharmaceuticals, nanotech, or electromagnetic enhancements. There's no hard proof, but the fear is real. Whatever you believe, chemtrails have become more than just a theory. They're a movement. Social media has amplified these fears, with videos, photos, and eyewitness testimony flooding platforms like TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. Entire communities are devoted to spotting planes, testing rainwater, and documenting spray days. Critics argue it's all confirmation bias. When you're looking for trails, you'll find them. And if you're already convinced they're dangerous, no amount of evidence will change your mind. But chemtrail believers argue that silence doesn't equal safety. They believe they're raising awareness and possibly stopping a silent war from above. Here's the million-dollar question. Why do so many people want to believe in chemtrails? Is it a mistrust of government? A longing for control in a chaotic world? A need for explanations in an age of climate anxiety? Scientists insist the atmosphere is doing exactly what it should, that persistent contrails are a result of increased air traffic, new engine technologies, and changing climate patterns. Nothing more. But for the believers, skepticism is patriotic, questioning authority is a duty, and the sky is quite literally the limit. So, are these trails just harmless byproducts of modern aviation? Or is something more calculated happening above our heads, hidden in plain sight? The truth is hazy, and maybe that's the point. But if there's one thing we know here at Deadly Details, it's that the most dangerous stories are the ones no one wants to talk about. If this episode made you look at the sky a little differently, you're not alone. There are more mysteries, more disappearances, more disturbing truths waiting to be uncovered. So don't just wonder. Dig deeper with us. Subscribe to Deadly Details for more dark investigations, forgotten histories, and conspiracies that hit just a little too close to home. Hit that subscribe button so you never miss what they don't want you to know. Because around here, the details, they're deadly.